Alright, got provisions. I'm gauging silver pellet. Alright. Saw my uncle in the store. And I'm like, our dog is at my place, eh? We have a timeshare dog. A con artist. She comes over, gets some treats and snacks. They're trying to keep her on a diet. And so yeah, just don't feed her too much, eh? Okay. Doing some raking, that's what I'm gonna go do. It's a little late in the day, but raking is one of those things you gotta wait till everything dries out. And where I'm going, there's a lot of shade there. So last year what I did is I didn't bother raking. I just went over everything with the friggin' motor. Oh guys, fully serviced riding mowers this year. Fully serviced. Oh, it's gonna be so good. They've needed service for a long time. I've been telling my clients, you gotta get that. I think this is the second or this is the third year. Yeah, this is my third year. With them, I used to work for their dad years ago, and their dad like kept those machines like prestige, eh? But they've kind of let them go, and it was just like had a few issues last year with them. So they got everything fixed, so that's good. So it should be a good season, hopefully. I think what I hope they did was this horn only works sometimes. What I hope they did was replace those tires so I don't have to freaking pump them up all the time. Such a pain in the ass. You know, it doesn't take long, but it's just that you have to do it every time, you know. But those tires, my God, they must be like 30 years old. I don't know how old these machines would be. They'd be at least 20 years old, 20, 25 years old. Like, they're John Deere's, eh? So, they're nice. They're nice riding tractors. Still makes riding mowers. Yeah, this is their first year. Zero turns as well. They have, the big one has Kawasaki engines in it. I think the small ones are either Kohler or Briggs & Stratton. And he goes, the guy was telling me, he goes, yeah, he goes, the big one, he goes, like, still, like, put warranty, like, on, like, the chassis and all that, but he goes, the engine, you got to deal with the actual Kawasaki dealership. But I'm like, you know, tell me it's a, like, you know, a ZX-10 engine in there or something. Can you imagine a ZX-10 engine in the lawnmower? 190 horsepower lawnmower. Yeah, that thing could be a helicopter. That'd be crazy. Anyway, yeah. Something I wanted to compliment on, or comment on again. Oh, the lake's on. Isn't that pretty? Nice glittery lake. It'd be kind of chilly though to go swimming. But where the heck's the entrance here? Always kind of like a semi-hidden. But anyway, long story short, somebody had asked me about electric chainsaws. And yesterday, because I was up on a tree with my with Mini Beast, and I had to take old friend up there as well because Mini Beast threw his trigger. And one area where I think electric chainsaws would totally rule would be arborist chainsaws. Why? Because there's no starting when you're up in the tree. You know what I mean? It's not like those things are hard to start, but when you're up in a tree, you know, you're pulling on something, right? And you're moving the tree around a bit more. You're moving yourself around a bit more. You know, being stable, you know what I mean, while you're pulling. Where if you can just hit the and go, yeah, electric all the way. You know, if you're sitting in a crane, or if you're in a, like, I haven't done that stuff yet. Pull it on the side again. They just replaced those like 2 years ago. Like every sign around here, yeah, it's like I think it's the guys from the municipality doing it just so they give themselves a make work job. Probably just joking. I don't think they would do that. But bullet holes in that one, bullet holes in that one. There's banjo playing around here for sure. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, our get a couple of years out of the batteries, it would be like several tanks of fuel. The downside is how much time do you get out of the batteries. So if you're up in a pine, which I don't know if I'd ever want to climb a pine, even a new one, because a fresher one, well, you know, that's what I'm probably going to be doing Monday. But a dead pine, you know, you'd be probably in a basket or something like that. You know, you probably could climb it to a degree, but you know pine branches are just the most unreliable, you know, thing, right? You could probably go through, you know, get a good while out of a battery, but I don't know if you get like 2.5 hours. What are you doing? Hurry up! The little one behind you. Nope, no fawn. Not quite yet. It'll be another 2 months before you start seeing the little fawns. But I don't know if you guys saw the deer or not, but yeah, it was a deer. Yeah, like it depends on the endurance of the battery. If it's like 15 minutes, no. Because, you know, like you'd need 10 batteries, 20 batteries just to do a day. If it was 45 minutes, you could live with it, but you'd still need 3 or 4 batteries just for the day. You know what I mean? But I'd only use the electric saw, you know, on the small stuff anyway. So you probably get, like my aunt, she says she gets about 45 minutes or so out of her little electric chainsaw. That's also when the battery's new. You know, 2 years later, you're getting like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's the thing I hate about battery stuff, is that the batteries don't hold up, and the batteries are more expensive than the freaking saw half the time, right? So to recoup that, you know what I mean? Like it's a big investment out front, where you got to buy all these batteries just so you have enough. You know, where the little gas-powered stuff, you know, maybe a little less convenient, but you know, the gas-powered saw has the same power on day one as it does on day 1,000. You know what I mean? Like where the electric saw, it depends on the battery. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just thought I'd add that in. But yeah, I do see a very high value. I was talking to East Coast Canadian last night, and he was telling me about they use an 880 chainsaw at where he works there. And anyway, oh yeah, I'm gonna have some work to do. Some work to do for sure. An 880 chainsaw, that's monstrous. That's huge. Yeah, he was asking me what kind of saw. I was going to go up to, well, I'm going to get a 162. I'd like to get, well, I'm probably going to get a 162 and a 171. There's no use buying me two of the same saw. Get one slightly bigger, one slightly smaller, because I can live with a slightly heavier saw, and then the smallest saw I can get. The smallest saw I can get is when I'm sawing up, like up on in there. Those little saws are super dandy, but I need a mid-level saw to cut down big stuff. So I'm looking. I won't say what saw I'm looking at, because when I do get the saw, like you guys are probably thinking I'm just going to go right for the 500i, and I might. You know, I might, but there might be better options than the 500i. It will be a Stihl product. I like Stihl. The Stihl shop is close. I like the Husky stuff too, but I mean, like, Stihl is close, right? So, you know, if I have to deal with it, drop it off for maintenance, it's only like a half an hour away, where the Husky guy is like an hour and something away. So, bottom line, yes, I do need a mid-level saw. And then I'm gonna get like a big, you know, Megalobarclodon like later on, if my tree trimming goes really well this year, maybe this year, next year. If it goes really, really well, I'll get a Megalobarclodon, and that'll be like the Stihl 661 or something like that. The 881, there's just nothing around here that would require that. But I do notice one thing before we gotta get to work here, is when you're cutting trees, like for stove wood, it's all like stuff about that size. You can do almost all that with a 260 or a 261. You know, like almost everything here. There's 10 acres here, and all of it, there's nothing that I couldn't cut down here except for a couple of big pines down near the water. Now, that said, when you're cutting on people's like what I call vanity trees, where the trees are basically, they were planted for shade, they were planted for aesthetics, whatever. Those trees seem to get they tend to be generational, and they tend to be a lot bigger. Like there's some pines down there with probably about 3-4 feet at the base, right? So obviously the 261, yeah, they'll cut into it,